Fatima's Big Brave Day. It was a pitter-patter Saturday morning. Outside, the world was a misty shade of gray, and the air was chilly. But inside, Fatima's heart was bright. Fatima is 24 years old and has cerebral palsy. Her muscles like to dance and move in their own special way, even when she tries to keep them quiet. Today, she had a very big job to do. Fatima is nonverbal, which means she talks with her eyes, her smiles, and her spirit instead of words. Before the big trip, her best friend Figaro, a gray-brown tabby cat, came to say hello. Figaro purred a secret message against her wheels. "You can do it, Fatima. You are the bravest girl I know." Fatima smiled. She knew she was going to the lab for blood work, and she had to be a still statue. "Time to go, Team Fatima," her dad, Levent, called out. He navigated her wheelchair toward their special van. The big metal lift lowered down to the ground like a drawbridge on a castle. Fatima loved the feeling of the lift rising up. Even though it was a rainy day, the adventure was just beginning. Inside the van, her mom, Gulson, was ready with a warm blanket. "It's a bit cold today, honey," Gulson said, tucking the soft fabric around Fatima's legs. The van hummed as they drove through the rain. Fatima watched the windshield wipers go swish-swash, swish-swash. She practiced taking deep, slow breaths to get her muscles ready. When they arrived at the lab, the lights were bright and the air smelled like lemons. A kind nurse named Soraya came out to meet them. "Hello, Fatima," Soraya chirped. "I heard you are a champion at staying still." Fatima gave a big blink. That was her way of saying, "I'm ready." Now came the hardest part. The doctors needed 6 or 7 tubes of blood to make sure Fatima's body was healthy and strong. Usually, Fatima's arms and legs want to jump and wiggle like popping corn because of her cerebral palsy. But today, she focused all her energy on her core. Gulson held her hand, whispering stories of sunshine and summer. Nurse Soraya worked quickly and gently. 1 tube, 2 tubes, 3. Fatima felt the tiny pinch, but she didn't budge. She was a mountain. She was an oak tree. She was the strongest person in the room. 4 tubes, 5 tubes, 6, and 1 more for good measure. 7 tubes in total. "All done," Soraya cheered, placing a bright, sparkly bandage on Fatima's arm. Levent clapped his hands and gave Fatima a giant high five. "You did it, Fatima. 7 tubes and you stayed as still as a painting." Everyone in the room cheered for the brave woman in the blue wheeled chair. Fatima's whole face lit up with a triumphant grin. Now that Fatima had shown everyone how it was done, it was Gulson and Levent's turn. They had to get their blood work done too. Fatima watched them closely, giving them encouraging blinks. She was the expert now, and she made sure her parents stayed just as still as she did. On the way home, they made a very important stop at Dunkin' Donuts. The smell of toasted bread and coffee filled the van. Levent came back with a bag that smelled like heaven. Inside were warm, toasted bagels slathered in thick cream cheese, the perfect reward for the whole family after a busy morning at the lab. Back at home, the rain was still falling, but the house was warm and cozy. Fatima sat in her favorite spot with her toasted bagel treat. Figaro, the gray-brown tabby cat, jumped right onto her lap, happy to have his brave girl back. It was a day of strength, a day of love, and a very happy Saturday for Fatima and her family.